Hi, Danielle and Bryant here. Thank you for taking an interest in German new medicine. I'm really excited to be able to share this information with you today because it is so empowering. When you adopt this new way of thinking, it really helps you to lose any fear surrounding your health or disease. You may find the information a little challenging at first when you first hear it. I know it really was for my husband Lloyd and I when we first discovered GNM, because the science of GNM proves that many things that we are brought up to believe and take for granted, things like how our body works, what disease actually is, are just proven to be not necessarily so. So there really is some cognitive dissonance when you first hear the information. My intention with this video is to introduce you to the concepts of GNM and let you know what it is and what it isn't. I will be presenting further videos on the different laws and aspects of GNM, including things like integrating it into your life, supporting healing, and anything else you may need to know. So please subscribe to my channel. Lloyd and I first discovered GNM a few years ago as part of my own health journey. Like I said, at first we were quite resistant to the information that we were hearing because it was unlike anything else we ever heard. But actually we felt that it was resonating with us on such a deep level. It was kind of like it was awakening some inner wisdom that we already knew. We continued through the cognitive dissonance and learned everything that we thought we knew, and we eventually attended an international training conference in Austria, and we learned so much more there. It all just fell into place, and now we are really keen to share this information with others so as everyone can benefit from this awareness. The science of GNM explains the nature and purpose of what we commonly call disease. It is often misrepresented as a healing modality or just another theory, but it is neither of these. GNM is a true science with empirically found laws. These are known as the biological laws, and in fact they're actually the laws of biology, because if you study science or even look at Wikipedia, you will see the laws of physics, the laws of chemistry, the laws of geology, and many other fields of science possess laws. But you will not find laws of biology. I personally studied GCSE and A-level biology, and also I've studied biology with the many diplomas that I've studied, and I've never come across the laws of biology. And it is these laws that I believe Dr. Harmer discovered, and what have been suppressed from us for so long, the reason being another story. So let's have a look at what we actually think of disease, what disease actually is. So basically, disease is a collection of symptoms. It is when our body is not at ease, dis-ease. Many disease names are merely a word that just describes the symptoms that we experience. So let's look at symptoms that make up the disease then. Now, first, we need to understand that we can experience symptoms through poison, through an injury, through malnutrition, such as nutritional deficiencies. And sometimes these symptoms can mimic a so-called disease. And this gives us the false concept that certain things will cause a certain disease. But actually, disease is something completely different. And GNM focuses on the true nature of the disease itself. So symptoms, no matter what they are considered to be uncomfortable, inconvenient, and when we have symptoms, we believe there is something wrong with us. Something wrong in our body, that our body is malfunctioning in some way. Therefore, the conventional, or sometimes known as allopathic approach, is to get rid of these symptoms. That's ultimately what we want. We want to feel well. And they do this mainly with pharmaceutical drugs, surgery, and that sort of thing. But the alternative approach is slightly different, but it also sees symptoms as an inconvenient nuisance and as a sign that our body is malfunctioning. The alternative approach, however, is more to focus on the cause of the symptoms. So then we might look at nutritional deficiencies, toxicities and things. We may take supplements, eat a natural diet, and a lot of us will avoid what is perceived as harmful risk factors of disease. But both of these approaches have problems. The first thing, the major thing really, is that they're both based on fear. If we fear disease, we also fear our health. And this is not a healthy state to be in. They are also based upon the notion that when we have symptoms, our body is malfunctioning, that it is wrong. And we are kept in fear because disease is considered as random, and it's really bad luck if it happens to you. Now, when you look at the alternative approach, you can feel a little bit more empowered, I suppose, by avoiding the risk factors. So you're kind of like building up what you may consider as an immunity to disease. But really, when you think of it, this is still living in fear. In fact, it is even more so because you're scared of so many other things, not just the disease itself, but what can cause it. It's actually not real empowerment. It is fear disguised as empowerment. And I found this out the hard way when I discovered a lump in my breast 4 years ago. Our family had been following a cancer-free lifestyle for many years. There is no reason why I should have experienced this. And in fact, I had the belief that I was immune to cancer because I never ate anything or did anything that could have caused it. And this is the main thing though, the anxiety, the severe anxiety that I experienced really proved to me that I was still very much afraid of disease and I wasn't empowered at all. Even though I knew about all the apparent natural cures and other things I could have done, you know, it was still very, very scary. And I realised I'd fallen further and further into fear. GNM, on the other hand, is completely different. Its science proves that disease is not a malfunction. It proves that our body biologically responds to traumatic events, which are known as conflicts, by making purposeful cellular changes that enable us to cope with the trauma. Once the trauma or conflict is resolved, the body then brings itself back to normal, and this is when we experience symptoms. And do you know what this means? It means our symptoms are healing. They are not malfunctioning. It means that symptoms is a sign that we have resolved a conflict or trauma, that we are recovering from that, and our body is getting back to normal. And you know what also it means? It means that we don't have to be scared of our symptoms, that we can welcome them and allow our bodies to heal. If you find this really difficult to accept, wait until you see the science that's behind it and the research as well. It will all begin to fall into place and make perfect sense to you. GNM is based upon wisdom and not fear, and so it is truly empowering. I really hope this video has whetted your appetite for learning more about German new medicine. And I hope you will allow me to continue being a part of your journey and discovering in learning GNM. Thank you for watching.